Hey everyone, if you're watching this now, you're cooking with Sue. I figured I was just about to finish up my soup that I started the other day. You guys heard me say that I took the carcasses of a couple of chickens that we had and put it into a stock pot. So I wanted to give you some tips about a good bone soup. The first thing you want to know is that you want to put about a quarter of a cup of white vinegar in with your soup. It helps extract the bone marrow from the bones, and that will help draw out the nutrients. And bone soup is really, really good for your gut. So one of the things that people that have a lot of stomach issues, you should be making some type of bone soup, whether it's beef or chicken, once a week. It's the gelatin that's in the bone that is really good for healing your intestines. So I want to give a little tip too. By the way, I'm going to start doing a lot more of these little 5-10 minute cooking with Sue tips, but they are going to be on my VIP page. That is my customer page. So if you are not on my customer page, but you want me to add you, you just need to make a comment below. It'll be for, you know, all of my customers and my friends, etc. if you want to see what Sue's cooking. So first thing, when you are using a professional knife, you want to make sure that you are honing your knives regularly. And a lot of people think that honing and sharpening are the same thing, and they are not. So let me just explain the difference about what honing and sharpening is. When you hone a knife brings it back into balance. So when you're using a knife, it bends in one direction or another, or you get little barbs on it. So when you hone a knife, it actually brings it back into balance and it'll cut better. So Pampered Chef sells a honing tool with its knife block set, but you can also purchase it separately. And you definitely need one if you have professional knives. And all you have to do to hone is you start at the end to tip, and you just drag it through the ceramic X that's at the bottom, maybe 3 or 4 times, and then just wash it quickly, and then you're ready to cut with it. And you should be honing your knives at least once, maybe twice a week if you're using them a lot. Sharpening takes metal off the blade, so eventually, you know, like your grandfather's old blades, or their knives, their fishing knives are super skinny. So you only want to sharpen your knives every 1 to 2 years, depending upon how often you use them. And you should have them professionally sharpened. So the kitchen store in Concord where I live, $6, they'll do one. I just bring a whole set every couple of years and they just sharpen them all. And then once they're sharpened, then you can just go ahead and use them from the beginning. So as I said, I started with the chicken broth that I boiled down, and you should boil your broth down twice. So this is why it takes your grandmother all day to make soup, because if you want to make a really good soup, you put the bone in, you put the water in, and by the way, if you've been to any one of my Pampered Chef shows, I tell you that when I'm using broccoli or the ends of celery or things like that, I throw the end stock into my freezer in freezer bags, and then I throw that all in when I'm boiling down the actual chicken bones. So it's getting the nutrients from the broccoli and the celery and any ends of my vegetables that I have. So it's giving depth to the flavor of the soup. Then, so you boil it all down till about halfway full, then you add it up with more water again and you boil it down, and then you add water in. So you want to be doing that. So it should take you a couple hours. So that's why on a Sunday, just start boiling it. Second, I'm using red potatoes. Did you know that you should not peel your potatoes? You should cook your potatoes with the skins on and eat them with the skins on. That half of the fiber that you get out of a potato is found in its skin. And that red potatoes are actually better because there's more power-packed nutrients in the skin, the thin skin of a red potato. So there's more fiber, there's vitamin B, there's iron, there's potassium, all in the skin of a potato. So when you're cutting something round, you make a bridge with your fingers like this, and then you put your knife in the center of the bridge and you cut, because you don't want to cut your fingers. Trust me, all of our knives are super duper sharp. So, and you want to try to cut your potatoes into consistent chunks so that everything cooks in the same time frame. I'm actually using a chef's knife. I should be using my Santoku knife because it has air pockets on it. The next thing I want to show you is when you are using a chef's knife has an angle to it, so does a utility knife. And when you pinch the blade here and then you use a down and forward motion, this is the motion you use with this type of blade. You can keep the tip on the board and you can feed your cucumber, your carrot, or whatever you're cutting in with your other hand, and you're going to be like Rachel Ray. You're going to be able to just chop, 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 chop. So obviously when you get to the end, you're supposed to use this beautiful, you know, keep your fingers back tip. I don't know how to do that, so I just am very careful when I get to the end of my carrots or whatever I'm cutting. So I'm going to put a couple carrots in. I did leave one of my carrots unpeeled because one of the things that I find is I've literally been stopped at Sam's Club before, and a lady jumped out of her car when I was filling up with gas, and she wanted to order a couple of vegetable peelers to take down to her daughter-in-law's house for Thanksgiving, because she said she didn't have a decent peeler in the house, and then she was just going to leave it for a Christmas gift. And one of the things I love about our vegetable peelers is that you actually can peel in both directions. So I don't know if you've ever had to peel a lot of carrots or a lot of potatoes or something else, but you actually can peel in both directions, and so it goes much faster when peeling on our vegetable peelers. They're super sharp. They last a really, really long time. I've had cheaper ones. One of the things that I've definitely learned is buy it once, don't buy it multiple times, and that's the same with our cookware. If you're going to buy a nice non-stick cookware pan, it will last you a lifetime, especially if it's Pampered Chef, because it's got a lifetime warranty. But you definitely want to get one that is going to cook evenly. So what am I putting in my chicken soup today? Pretty much looked in the fridge and said, what do I have? Which is probably what you all do, right? So I have some celery, I had some carrots, I have some red potatoes, I had some green beans that I was supposed to cook with steak the other day, and I totally forgot, so they were starting to look kind of wilted, so I was like, you know what, no better time than to go ahead and stick those into my soup. I'm going to add some celery, and I'm going to add onions. And the last time I did Facebook Live, you would think I would learn by now, never do Facebook Live and cut an onion or spiralize an onion if you're not going to like immediately cook it. So I started bawling my eyes out and rubbing my eyes left and right. So I did put my onion this time. I chunked it into pieces, and I put it in my manual food processor. And I'm going to go ahead and chop it up. Now, when I cook my broth, I actually shoot a bunch of garlic in my chicken bones. I throw a couple of onions in there. As I said before, I put the ends of my celery, the ends of my carrots, the ends of my broccoli all in the broth, and I drain all of that stuff off, but then I put fresh celery, fresh carrots, etc. in. Last thing I'm going to put in is I'm going to put some beans, and I'm going to put some corn in. So for those of you who don't know the smooth edge can opener, the helicopter blade floats on top. You don't put it sideways. So think of this like a helicopter, and the blade's going to come right into the can, and then it's going to grab your can. And then you're going to go all the way around until you get to the other side, and then it'll get very easy to twist, or it'll make a little clicking sound, and that's how you know that you've made it all the way around. Go back half a turn to let it go. There's a little bird beak on this side that goes peep, peep, peep. You push the button, and it makes the bird beak close. So you put the bird beak on the side, and you lift straight up. And why is this so important? Because my son Seth has 6 stitches on the bottom of his foot for jumping over the trash, trying to race his sister to the front door when he was a young kid, landed on a tuna can, and we found out quickly that Novocaine does not work on your foot. So the whole ER could hear this poor 6-year-old screaming, "I can feel that!" every stitch. So I'm going to put that all in. I zoodled some zucchini because I don't want to use white pasta because I have been eating terribly since November. Confession time. I have totally been off Whole30. I've been eating sugar. I've been drinking Diet Coke. I've been eating chocolate. I've been eating, I ate potato chips for dinner last night. Terrible. So my husband and I are like, all right, we feel terrible. We have got to start eating healthier and start snowshoeing. So we're snowshoeing tomorrow. If anybody's local and wants to go with us, we're going to go out snowshoeing. So I'm putting, instead of chicken noodle soup, I'm doing chicken zoodle soup. So I spiralized a couple of zucchini the other day. So the last tool I want to show you before I actually finish making my soup is my boil over no more. Can you guys see that? That goes right on top of your stock pot. And so I don't know how many times I have been boiling something, especially like a potato or pasta, and the stuff boils over onto your beautiful glass top stove, and it makes a huge mess. So you don't have to have that anymore. We have 2 sizes, a large and a small boil over no more. They're fabulous. So if you liked my little tip about bone broth and about the vinegar and about the potatoes and all the information I gave you about that, please request to go to my VIP page because you're going to learn more stuff over there. So I will do some on my regular Facebook page, but a lot of my little videos will be done on my VIP page from now on. So I hope to talk to y'all soon. Thanks for joining me, Dara, Marie, Betty, Ben, Kathy. Have a great day, guys. I have a show tonight, so I got to get this soup done so my husband has something to eat when he gets home tonight. See you guys later.